Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Inside the Inferno. I'm Brady Hanson alongside Jack Bartlett, and what an eventful week it has been for ASU athletics.
That's right, Brady. From a thriller at Desert Financial Arena last night to some exciting developments with ASU football, the show won't be short of any riveting and fun moments.
ASU football played their last conference game in Pasadena last weekend, and they left it with a bang. Ari Wall has more.
Yeah, well, Arizona State went into the Rose Bowl and beat the Bruins 17-7 thanks to some great defense and a unique offensive formation that might look like something out of flag football. Head coach Kenny Dillingham had a game plan that UCLA was certainly unprepared for, so let's take a look at some of the highlights. So this is the formation here that they ran a lot during the game. It's called the swinging gate. They ran this 18 times during the game. There you can see the center, and they've got two guys on either side of the offensive line. Then on the far side, in this case, they've got two receivers lined up, and then the entire offensive line is lined up here on the near side. This is early in the game. 1st and 5, first offensive drive of the game. Bourget under center. He's going to take the snap, look out left, find Elijah Badger complete, and he picks up the first down. Now you're going to see them run it again here. This time it's going to be on a 3rd down and 3. ASU is going to line up in a similar formation. They've still got the center, and then they've got two guys on either side, but look who's behind him. Jalen Conyers, the tight end, is lined up at quarterback. This time they've got just one receiver on the near side, the entire offensive line on the far side. So let's see what happens once again. Jalen Conyers is going to take the snap here, 3rd down and 3, and he runs right up the middle and is able to pick up the first down. Now, a big key, of course, in this game was the defense. Here's a 4th down and goal with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. UCLA is going to try to run it right up the middle, and ASU's defense is strong to keep the Bruins off the board as they were looking for their first points of the game. And then here on a 4th down and 1 on the 9-yard line, UCLA is going to try the same thing, try to run the ball. And again, the Sun Devil defense is strong to force a turnover on downs. And then here as the first quarter winds down, 55 seconds left, Tate Romney comes flying in to get the sack and help ASU carry a 3-0 lead going into the half. Fast forward to late in the third quarter now. Cameron Scadaboo finds himself in at quarterback. This is a 3rd down and 10. He's going to fake the handoff, roll out right, and then with pressure coming, finds Elijah Badger in the end zone, complete for a touchdown. Take another look at this play here. Cameron Scadaboo, this is a tough pass to make, let alone for a running back, and he finds Badger in the end zone for a touchdown. That gives the Sun Devils a 10-0 lead. And then this is the game right here. This is a 4th down and 4. Kenny Dillingham's going to decide to go for it. We know he likes to go for it. Bourget finds Badger, complete for a first down. And then here, Badger is able to complete that first down, make it a 10-7, 3:30 to go in this game. And then here, Cameron Scadaboo on a 1st down with the ball in his hands, goes up the middle, then goes to the outside, breaks it free, and is able to get a touchdown. Here's what head coach Kenny Dillingham had to say after the game.
And 3 years from now, if we're running the swinging gate, I shouldn't be here, right? Unless it's unique. If we run it 20 times, there's a problem. It means I didn't recruit well enough. It means I didn't build culture. I didn't get the guys stronger, and we didn't do it right. But right now, this was the best chance for us to win the football game, and it's my job to put our guys in the best chance to win the football game. Whether it's unique, crazy, a little weird, that doesn't matter to me. I'm trying to win football games.
The Sun Devils will have a tough task against Oregon at home this week, but let's hope the win over UCLA was enough to get the fans back in it. Jack?
Thanks, Ari. Another week of Sun Devil football means the latest edition of Trent's Percent. Our Adam Coonan breaks down Trenton Bourget's performance at the Rose Bowl in studio.
Thanks, Jack. Coming into the week, ASU quarterback Trenton Bourget's health was in serious jeopardy because of a big hit he took last week against Utah. Despite concerns from the coaching staff, Bourget powered through the pain and suited up for the Sun Devils. So it's time for another edition of Trent's Percent. Admittedly, Bourget's injury showed through his performance, but this week, Bourget's teammates picked him up, as we'll see later on. Now diving into the film, Bourget and the offense got out to a slow start, scoring no points in the first quarter and Bourget throwing this early interception. However, Kenny Dillingham did a nice job of getting his quarterback in rhythm. How do you get him in rhythm? Well, you first have to hit some easy ones, as here's a nice short throw to the sticks to Elijah Badger. Then you throw in some wrinkles. What is this? It's the swinging gate offense. They have 3 offensive linemen lined up there. Kenny Dillingham found this on YouTube in preparation for this week's game, as they're going to spread them out and hit Elijah Badger here on the screen pass. Makes it easy on Bourget, and they're able to pick up a big chunk play here to move the chains. This would lead to a second down here where Trenton Bourget would take the snap, and he finds a crease up the middle. That's how you can also help the offense extend drives with your legs. And then who is this at quarterback? It's ASU running back Cam Scadaboo, who's in on a 3rd and long here, and they're actually going to end up passing. He's going to take the snap, and the scat attack is going to go aerial, rolls out right, and he's going to launch it deep to Elijah Badger for the touchdown. That would be ASU's only passing touchdown of the day. And now who is this? We're just playing who is who at quarterback at this point. It's ASU tight end Jalen Conyers on the 3rd and short. You might think they're running, but they're actually going to end up passing as the former high school quarterback takes the snap here, launches it deep, looking for Badger, and they're able to set up the PI here. Big gain for the Sun Devils, and then that would lead to a 4th down play. Gotta have it. Kenny Dillingham rolls the dice, and it pays off. Nice, easy completion there to Elijah Badger. Again, that's the bread and butter of Bourget's game with his timing and accuracy. And then this sets up the game-winning touchdown for Cam Scadaboo, who bounces it to the outside. Good night, Bruins, as Cam Scadaboo runs it in for the touchdown. If he got a grade, he'd get an A+. But here's Trenton Bourget's grade. He gets a 78 on the day. We have to keep in mind he was battling through injury, facing a very potent UCLA pass rush and defense, so we'll cut him a little slack. Now with Bourget's health in question and freshman Jaden Rashada eyeing a return this week, this could be Bourget's last performance of the season. And I must say, he's faced some tremendous adversity, from not winning the starting role, to battling injuries, to guiding this start to a wild new age of Sun Devil football. Bourget's continued perseverance has embodied what it means to be a Sun Devil through and through. If he's good to go, he will lead the Sun Devils out against the number 6 ranked Oregon Ducks tomorrow.
Thanks, Adam. Last weekend at the Rose Bowl, true freshman quarterback Jaden Rashada was in pads and participated in pregame warmups, but didn't take the field. This week at practice, Coach Dillingham was optimistic about Rashada's progress, but doesn't want to put him back on the field before he's ready.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball really well. Obviously, he's not going to be ready this week to play. Our goal is just to continually get him back and ready. I mean, he could be maybe an emergency guy, but I'm not going to throw him in there. I mean, he's practiced really 1 week of football as a true freshman to say, hey, go get him, Tiger. Like, that ain't fair, right? That's not what I should do. So it's one of those scenarios where we're going to try to get him back more in a rhythm. But he's looked really good. He looks like he's getting back healthy. You just got to get out there and play football a little bit.
Well, Rashada might not be ready to go under center, but another guy has stepped up when his name is called. Junior Cam Scadaboo has been a Swiss Army knife for the Sun Devils this season, taking not only direct snaps to run the ball, but lining up as a passer and even a punter. Coach Dillingham said there are only a few guys that he has coached that are as talented and as versatile as Scadaboo.
There's only one other guy. It could be Jordan Travis or Bo Nix. They can both punt, they can both throw, they're both going to run 4.5. So probably not going to be as downhill of a runner as him, so I guess the answer is Scat. But from just an athlete perspective that can kind of do it all, I was showing you the other day, if Scat was 6'1", he'd probably be a quarterback.
As Adam said, the Sun Devils take on the Oregon Ducks tomorrow in what should be a fun game at Mountain America Stadium. Here to give us a more in-depth look into this game is Stephen Buxton.
Arizona State football is back at home this weekend after fighting out a close win in the Rose Bowl against the UCLA Bruins. Now Kenny Dillingham and the Sun Devils look ahead to possibly their toughest opponent yet in number 6 ranked Oregon. The last time these two teams met, it was all Sun Devils. Almost 4 years ago to the day, back in 2019, ASU took down Oregon 31-28 in Tempe. The big news this week is that Jaden Rashada could potentially return. The freshman quarterback hasn't played since week 2, but Dillingham said that he could play if he's at 100%. If he does play, it's no easy task. A matchup with the Ducks finishes off a stretch of playing the top 3 defenses in the conference back to back to back. The Ducks are a complete team, but the Sun Devils offense will have their hands full with this unit. They rank 3rd in yards per game, 2nd in pass defense, 3rd in run defense, and 2nd in points, allowing just 17.1 per game. All around, it's a dominating unit that has suffocated offenses all year. In conference play, the Ducks have held 3 opponents to 6 points and kept Cal under 20. That defense is just about the worst possible combination that the Sun Devils offense could face. The offense ranks near the bottom of the Pac-12 in every single stat, and they're dead last in scoring, putting up a measly 17.7 points per game. Defensively, though, ASU will have one of the better units that Oregon has faced this season. ASU has the third best pass defense in the conference, which they need to lean on in order to slow down Heisman contender Bo Nix under center. Nix has thrived off of getting the ball out quickly, extending plays, which combined with a great O-line has led to him being the least sacked quarterback in the Pac-12, getting taken down only 4 times this season. The Sun Devils will need to get after him if they want to have any success at all. They also need their turnover luck to change. ASU has only forced 11 turnovers this season, and just 2 of those were interceptions. The team needs to take advantage of every single opportunity they get to give themselves even a shot to beat this Oregon team. ASU is 23.5-point underdogs in the game, and in order to win it, they will need a little bit of luck and the home field advantage that Dillingham has emphasized so much in his efforts to activate the Valley. Kickoff is on Saturday at 2 o'clock at Mountain America Stadium in Tempe. Keep up with our coverage on InfernoIntelMedia.com and on Twitter at InfernoIntel.
Over to Desert Financial Arena, the Sun Devils men's basketball team handed UMass Lowell its first loss of the season in an epic come-from-behind victory last night. A Thursday night thriller at Desert Financial Arena as the Sun Devils hosted an incredible comeback win against the 3-0 UMass Lowell Riverhawks Thursday, November 16th. This is the first time these teams are facing off, as UMass is coming off a season in which they won 26 games, a program record. A slow start for the Sun Devils in the first half. The Riverhawks were up 10-5 with 15 minutes remaining, forcing an early timeout for the Devils. The Sun Devils were heading into the second half down 31-22. Sun Devil head coach Bobby Hurley gave his thoughts about his team in the first half.
There was a lot of blank expressions in the first half. We didn't have anybody playing well, so everyone was kind of glassy. We just trying to really infuse life into our players in huddles and trying to convince them that, we're still in this, we got a chance.
And Coach Hurley was right. They still had a chance. And that chance came from the team's energy on and off the bench.
When you got positive energy among the whole team, it just rubs off. Positive energy rubs off on the next guy, and I feel like my positive energy rubs off on Zoe. Zoe's positive energy rubs off on the next guy to make big plays down the stretch. It's not about how you start, but how you finish.
With the Riverhawks having a 10-point lead with 17 minutes remaining, the Sun Devils knew they had to step up. Perez was one of those players, sinking one in from deep, followed by ASU going on a 6-0 run, cutting the lead 43-37 at the 12-minute mark. Down to the last 5 minutes, the Devils managed to get within 4 points, but the Riverhawks made 3 of their next 4 field goals, extending their lead back to 11.
The Sun Devils didn't have a lead until the very last seconds of the game. With 2 minutes left, the Sun Devils were down by 10 against the Riverhawks, but those last 2 minutes were poetry in motion for the Devils.
With 1 minute remaining, graduate forward Alonzo Gaffney got a steal and passed it over to junior guard Frankie Collins to tie the game. A loose ball forced another Riverhawk turnover with 36 seconds left in the game. Perez cashed in his 7th bucket of the night to reach the 20-point mark and give ASU the lead 69-67 with 9 seconds left. But a foul called on junior guard Jemiah Neal led to the Riverhawks tying the game at 69-69. To finish out the Thursday night thriller, Collins made a smooth up and under to give the Sun Devils a 71-69 lead and win the game. Although this ASU team is a new group, their chemistry tonight showed their potential looking ahead into the season.
It's a new group. We have new groups. Almost the last 3 years we've had a new group, so we've been trying to get that chemistry together. And it's early on right now, so we're not going to be the same team.
The Sun Devils stay undefeated at home, moving to a 2-1 record. ASU heads to the Strip to take part in the Vegas Showdown November 23rd and face off against BYU. In Tempe, for Inferno Intel, I'm Kayla Marinoff.
What an exciting finish last night. Thanks for being there to cover it for us. Definitely a game that could have gone either way, especially with UMass Lowell coming off the win over Georgia Tech. But looking ahead, what do you expect to see from Coach Bobby Hurley's team?
Thanks, Jack. Last night was absolutely a must-win for ASU. I know it's early in the season, but a home loss last night against a team like that would not look good later in the season. If this team wants to have any chance at returning to the NCAA tournament this year, they have to finish out the non-conference schedule strong and win most, if not all, of these non-conference games.
You take a look at the rest of the schedule before Pac-12 play begins. What game stands out to you the most?
Well, there's a couple of good ones coming up. The Devils play BYU next Thursday, the 23rd, in Vegas, and the Cougars are looking to make a splash in their first year in the Big 12. They are ranked 19th nationally right now, according to the Ken Pom. But to put that in perspective, ASU is way down at 93rd on the list. So it will definitely be a tough matchup. But if the Sun Devils can pull it off, that would be a great statement win early in the season. One more to keep an eye on is TCU. The matchup will take place on December 16th, and the Horned Frogs are ranked 25th in the Ken Pom. If Arizona State can win one or both of these games, it will be a nice setup for a potential postseason bid and a great confidence boost heading into the Pac-12 play.
Thanks so much for your insight, Kayla. Now transitioning to women's basketball, Coach Adair's squad had a great 3-game homestand to open up the season. Our Ben Yates was in Tempe to catch this great start.
The Sun Devils women's basketball team prolonged their winning streak to 3 on Monday night as senior guard Jaden Simmons and the rest of the team are coming off of 2 huge games at home that resulted in wins by 13 or more points. The Dons of San Francisco were going to be a bit more difficult, however, as they possess something ASU lacks with the absence of senior guard Ty Skinner, and that's speed. Grad student guard Jasmine Gales was lightning on the court. As she was one of the smaller players in stature, she was one of the largest for the Dons on impact.
We knew, Gales was gonna be a track meet with her. But Jaden Simmons, I thought, set the tone just from the defensive end and trying to make it hard for her. I thought Treyana Chris came out, and really led us out of the locker room. But, these two right here, Khadijah is going to get used to having conversations with you all because she works so hard.
And that is exactly what Torrey did in this game, as she posted her first career double-double, finishing with 22 points and 14 rebounds to round out the night. While the Sun Devils remain undefeated in the season so far, the story of tonight was the return of Marasha Wiggins, who missed all of last season to injury. The junior guard put on an impressive display of physical basketball against the Dons, as she was a key engine on the aggressive play style seen throughout the game.
I felt great. I feel like I have a lot to improve on. I have a lot to work on, but it just feels great to be back on the court and be back out there with my teammates.
While ASU would lead by as much as 15 points going to halftime, the Dons would rally back into the game and bring it within 5 off the efforts of redshirt junior forward Deborah Dos Santos, who got 13 points in the game, all of which rained in during the fourth quarter. But with free throws hitting at a consistent 72% for the Sun Devils, ASU would walk away with an 8-point win in a final score of 77-69. For Inferno Intel, I'm Benjamin Yates.
Unfortunately, the Sun Devils lost a heartbreaker on the road at Grambling State last night by the score of 70-67. From the basketball court on over to the pitch, ASU women's soccer earned its second straight trip to the NCAA tournament. They faced Santa Clara in the first round. Our Kendall Flynn breaks down ASU's tournament appearance.
Thanks, Brady. Unfortunately, Arizona's soccer season has come to an end after losing in the first round of the NCAA Women's Soccer National Championship. This was the second consecutive and third NCAA tournament appearance in 4 years for ASU. The Sun Devils were set to play the Santa Clara Broncos November 11th, who were 13-4-2 and embarking on their 9th season in a row in the championship. The Sun Devils fell 0-3 against the Broncos as they were unable to create the possibility for a comeback. ASU sophomore goalkeeper Pauline Nellis, who set the single-season shutout record at 9, saved 2 goal attempts, but it wasn't enough as they struggled more on offense. ASU was only able to take 8 shots, 3 of which were on goal, compared to Santa Clara's 13 and 5. Despite this, the Sun Devils still had a remarkable season, one they will hope to expand on next year. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kendall. Last weekend marked the start of the season for ASU wrestling. Splitting its first 2 duels with Lock Haven and North Carolina, the Sun Devils have a tough task ahead of itself next Sunday. Zeke Jones and his squad head to Columbia, Missouri to face the 4th-ranked Mizzou Tigers. Here's Zeke with more.
I feel good about them. I think, want to take the wins where we can and obviously make progress in some of the other weight classes as we get ready to compete. Obviously a top 2-3 type team, very good, very well coached, very skilled, so we have to be ready.
I felt good at the tournament. I got to wrestle a former teammate in the finals. Yeah, felt good getting ready for Missouri this weekend.
Thanks for that. Now let's transition into ASU hockey. The Sun Devils now sit at number 14 in the U.S. hockey poll after splitting their home series against the Denver Pioneers. In the first game, the Sun Devils took down the Pioneers in a 5-6 victory ending in overtime. In a constant back and forth game, the top line of the Sun Devils totaled 5 goals throughout regulation. A big piece of that top line was senior forward Dylan Jackson, who got his 2nd career NCAA hat trick and the first hat trick ever recorded in Mullet Arena. However, this matchup would not be settled with only 60 minutes. At 2:55 into the extra frame of play, graduate defenseman Brandon Tabakin set up the graduate forward Tyler Gratton for the game-winning goal, which sent Mullet Arena into a frenzy. A huge win for the Devils to start off the series in a sold-out Mullet Arena against their future conference opponent. Game 2 of the series, however, got a little ugly as the Sun Devils fell way short of victory, losing 8-4. To start the game, the Sun Devils were still riding the momentum from the previous night, taking a 3-0 lead in just the first period. The Pioneers eventually got back onto their feet, scoring 5 unanswered goals, taking the game away from the Devils. Although it was a split series, Coach Power was not extremely disappointed with the result. Splitting the series jumped the Sun Devils from being ranked 16 to ranked 14, and that's what the Sun Devils need to have a tournament appearance in March. With that, let's send it over to Lachlan McTagg, who's going to get us ready for the series against Alaska Anchorage.
Thanks, Brady. This weekend, the Seawolves from the University of Alaska Anchorage will come back to Mullet Arena. Last season, the teams met 4 times, with ASU winning 3 of the 4 and sweeping the Seawolves at home. After a disappointing 8-19-1 record last season, the Seawolves have had an interesting start, to say the least. They started off by splitting each of their first 4 series, including a huge win over number 15 Penn State. That game featured 3 separate 3-point nights from Adam Teasdale, Connor Marrett, and Ben Almquist. Only 5 Seawolves were held off the score sheet that night, and that's been the story for them all season long. They've gotten balanced scoring from all lines throughout their lineup, but the problem for them has been consistency. They've shown they can score goals, but at times they've been hard to come by. On the ASU end, they've coming off an electric series with Denver that was thrilling to watch no matter who you were cheering for. Head coach Greg Powers continues to preach the importance of continuing to win games at home. ASU is 7-2-1 on the season and will look to ride this wave of offensive momentum they've seen from their top line of the Jackson twins and Lucas Sillinger. One of ASU's downfalls all season has been their untimely penalties. It allowed Denver back in last Saturday's game and has almost cost them several times this season. These 2 teams are locking heads once again, and if ASU wants to continue to move up in the college hockey rankings, they will need to be at the top of their game against this sneaky Seawolf squad. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Lachlan. First-year head coach J.J. Van Niel has injected new life into the Sun Devil volleyball program. In his first season at the helm, the team has been nothing short of dominant. That trend continued last weekend as the Devils hosted Utah at DFA. Paisley Poole was at the match and recaps the action.
Sun Devil volleyball once again swept the Utah Utes in 3 sets. The Devils have 24 wins on the season and are undefeated at home.
Sun Devil momentum started off slow, as their past few matches have been, and even with their low serve-receive percentages tonight, they were still able to pull out the win in 3 sets.
We didn't pass very well and kind of scrapped out wins at the end, which is great. So I think anytime you can maybe not play the way you're used to playing and still pull out a win in a set is really good. And
Opposite hitter and 4-time Pac-12 Player of the Week, Marta Levinska, livened the Devils' momentum in the second set. She even led the team with 21 kills. Middle blocker Claire Jeter also showed out, leading the team with 4 blocks.
They weren't giving it to us easily. Like, they were fighting, and they'd have really good lib, and they had a lot of good digs. And I think we just didn't utilize a lot of situations.
The Devils rang the victory bell, making their at-home record a perfect 8-0.
Thanks, Paisley. Well, a packed show has come to an end. That does it for us in Studio 6 today, and we thank you for tuning in.
To stay up to date on our in-depth coverage of Sun Devil athletics, make sure to visit our website at infernointelmedia.com, or for written content, as well as our social media at Inferno Intel for more. For Jack Bartlett and the rest of our crew, I'm Brady Hanson signing off. We'll see you next time on Inside the Inferno.